Yeah. Ashish. Usually get classroom Wednesday, but I thought because maybe he was giving me. Should a little bit. Should have had later. Got the house notes the whole world can live. And actually getting a little bit hay fever if I take it. So only he could lead them. Usually during the kirtan, at least one dancer would carry on in a narcissistic, egoistic way, occasionally becoming rude to the point where Swamiji would ask the person to stop. One evening before Swamiji had come down from his apartment, a girl in a miniskirt began writhing and gyrating in the temple during kirtan. When one of the devotees from upstairs told Swamiji, he replied, "That's all right, let her use her energy for Krishna. I'm coming soon and I will see for myself." When Swamiji arrived and started another kirtan, the girl who was very skinny again began to wriggle and gyrate. Swamiji opened his eyes and saw her. He frowned and glanced at some of his disciples, indicating his displeasure. Taking the girl aside, one of the women scolded her out. A few minutes later, the girl returned wearing slacks and dancing in a more reserved style. Sri Prabhupada Ki. Yeah. Sri Lokanath Goswami, personal associate of Lord Gauranga, fully absorbed in pure love. Sri Lokanath Goswami was the eldest of the Swamis living in Vrajabhumi. He shunned name and fame so much that he asked Krishnadas Kaviraj to keep his name out of Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's the problem with some of these great souls, are so humble, don't get to learn enough about them. His body and mind were completely attached to Vrindavan Dham. The divine leelas of Radha Vinod played in his heart. His ears existed only to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. Anyone who reads Srimad Bhagavatam, he is my friend, said Lokanath Goswami. Once Sri Krishna himself appeared and gave Lokanath a deity of Radha Vinod. Lokanath Goswami carried his deity all over Vraja in a cloth bag hung around his neck. Although first rejecting, Lokanath Goswami finally accepted Narottam Das for initiation as his only disciple. He appreciated his genuine humility and determination to serve. Every night for 1 year, Narottam Das secretly served his guru by carefully clearing the field where Lokanath Goswami passed through. So I don't know how much it is now, but certainly some places you go to India, the public toilet is a field. It's actually very public. Lokanath Goswami originally, his original deity to Radha Vinod and now worshipped in Jaipur, Rajasthan. A Pratibhu Murti expanded from the original deity of Radha Vinod and adorns the altar at the Radha Gokulananda temple in Vrindavan. If you go to the Radha Gokulananda temple, then there's a few deities there on the altar, a few deities of Radha Krishna, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Vinod. There's also a special Govardhan Shila which was given to Raghunath Das Goswami by Lord Chaitanya, a small, almost squarish Shila, and when he gave that Shila to Raghunath Goswami, Lord Chaitanya's thumbprint went on it. You can see that. Also, what else is there? Prabhupada lived at Radha Gokulananda temple. When he first went to Vrindavan before he went to Radha Damodar temple, he stayed there for a little while. And it's a nice little temple in the off of Warriors Arm. Lokanath Goswami serves Srimati Radharani as Manjarala Manjari Nitya Vrindavan. Sri Lokanath Goswami ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 4, entitled The Hamsa Guru Prayers, and there's texts
42 onwards. 42 onwards.
42 onwards, okay. Okay, so I'll do 42 myself, then we can do 43 together. Tantatavanam bhaktam prajakanam prajapatim chitagya sarabhutanam idam janardana. Although perfected Daksha could not say anything, when the Lord, who knows everyone's heart, saw his devotee prostrate in that manner, and desiring to increase the population, he addressed him as follows. We can do this together. Text 43. Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Prachitasa. Mahabhaga. Prachitasa Mahabhaga. Samsidas. Tapasa. Bhavan. Samsidas. Samsidas Tapasa Bhavan. Jadaya Matparaya Jadaya Matparaya Mai Bhavam Param Gata Mai Bhavam Param Gata Shri Bhagavan Vacha Prachitasa Mahabhaga Samsidas Tapasa Bhavan Achadaya Matparaya Mai Bhavam Param Gata Shri Bhagavan Vacha Prachitasa Mahabhaga Samsidas
Samsidas Tapasabhavan,
Shadayana Paraya,
Yachadayana Paraya,
Mai Bhavan Paramgata,
Mai Bhavam Paramgata,
Shri Bhagavani Vacha,
Sri Bhagavan Vacha,
Chetasa Mahabhaga,
Jitasa Mahabhaga,
Samsikas Tapasavan,
Samsidas Tapasabhavan,
Shadayana Paraya,
Yachadayana Paraya,
Mai Bhavan Paramgata,
Mai Bhavam Paramgata, Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Chetasa Mahabhaga, Rajitasa Mahabhaga, Samsidas Tapasabhavan, Samsidas Tapasabhavan, Yachadayana Paraya, Yachadayana Paraya, Mai Bhavam Paramgata, Mai Bhavam Paramgata, Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Chetasa Mahabhaga, Rajitasa Mahabhaga, Samsidas Tapasabhavan, Yachadayana Paraya, Mai Bhavam Paramgata, Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Rajitasa Mahabhaga, Rajitasa Mahabhaga, Samsidas Tapasabhavan, Samsidas Tapasabhavan, Yachadayana Paraya, Yachadayana Paraya, Mai Bhavam Paramgata, Mai Bhavam Paramgata,
Shri Bhagavan Vacha,
Shri Bhagavan Vacha,
Rajitasa Mahabhaga,
Rajitasa Mahabhaga,
Samsidas Tapasabhavan,
Samsidas Tapasabhavan,
Yachadayana Paraya,
Yachadayana Paraya,
Mai Bhavam Paramgata,
Mai Bhavam Paramgata,
Shri Bhagavan Vacha,
Shri Bhagavan Vacha,
the Supreme Personality of Godhead said,
the Supreme Personality of Godhead said,
Chetasa,
Rajitasa,
Madhya Chetasa,
Rajitasa,
Mahabhaga,
Mahabhaga,
O you who are so fortunate,
O you who are so fortunate,
Samsita,
Samsida,
perfected,
perfected,
Tapasa,
Tapasa,
by your austerities,
by your austerities,
Bhavan,
Bhavam,
your good self,
good self,
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
because
Shadaya,
Shradaya,
the great faith,
my great faith,
Paraya,
Paraya,
whose object is me,
whose object is me,
my and me,
in me,
Bhavam,
Bhavam,
ecstasy,
ecstasy,
Param,
Param,
supreme,
supreme,
Gata,
Gata,
attained.
attained.
Translation: Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O most fortunate Chetasa, because of your great faith in me, you have attained the supreme devotional ecstasy. Indeed, because of your austerities combined with exalted devotion, your life is now successful. You have achieved complete perfection. Please repeat. Supreme Personality of Godhead said,
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said,
O most fortunate Chetasa,
O most fortunate Rajitasa,
because of your great faith in me,
because of your great faith in me,
you have attained supreme devotional ecstasy.
you have attained the supreme devotional ecstasy.
Indeed, because of your austerities,
Indeed, because of your austerities,
combined with exalted devotion,
combined with exalted devotion,
your life is now successful.
your life is now successful.
You have achieved complete perfection.
You have achieved complete perfection.
As the Lord Himself confirms in Bhagavad Gita 8:15, one reaches the highest perfection when he attains the fortune of realizing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mam Apirya Punarjanma Yukalayam Ashashvatam Natmivanti Mahatmana Samsudam Paramam Gita. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. Therefore, the Krishna conscious movement teaches one to follow the path toward the topmost perfection simply by performing devotion service. Kampurati Vacham, Bandhumayate, Nipipatu, Hamdeshi, Taranam, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhupada, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Sari Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The Supreme Personality of God said to the most fortunate Prachetas that because of your great faith in me, you have attained the supreme devotion and ecstasy. Indeed, because of your austerities, combined with exalted devotion, your life is now successful. You have achieved complete perfection. So what do you think he did after that? I thought, okay, that's great. Now I'll go and take rest. Or now I'll just can have my beat back up. I've made it. And one time, when was it we asked Prabhupada, when we go back to the spiritual world, do we have to chant japa? And he says, do you not want to? I'm not sure if that's exactly what you say, but it's something like that. The process of sadhana bhakti is when we have to do something simply because we know it's good for us. We might not even necessarily feel or experience the benefits of it as yet. It's just like when you put a seed in the ground and you know you have to water it, you have to keep on watering it. You can't just like decide, oh, you can't be bothered to water it, just fast next year. You have to water it if you want the thing to grow, and you have to have food. Or like a car, it keeps on running, but you have to keep on putting petrol in it. You don't just buy a new car, put petrol in it once, and when it runs out, fall up and say this car's not working. So even though you may get to the destination, but get to the destination is only the beginning. Because the devotion service is we are by nature Jivera Srupahaya, Krishnera Nityadas, Krishnera Tatasta Shakti Veda Deva Prakash. This is a Swarup. Swarup, can anyone tell me what Swarup means?
Form?
It means form, form, not swan. It means form, yeah. Also it means as well as that, or more than that. Identity. Well, which identity? That we're the identity, the name we have now, that we are the brother or sister or son or daughter of such and such. Mr. John or Mrs. Jane, is it that identity?
In relationship to a constitutional position.
Yeah, so it refers to our eternal situation, our eternal form, our eternal identity. So we have so many different identities, and we have had so many different identities. Hopefully we will have many more, even. So this Krishna conscious movement is giving us the true identity, it's returning us back to that original consciousness, reminding us that when Prabhupada went to America one time, he stopped at an airport, and this would always greet him with great enthusiasm. There'd be crowds of devotees there, and it would attract press. So there's some reporters, and Swamiji, what have you come to teach us? You have come to teach what you've forgotten. So he said, in that sense, it's nothing new, but it's been so long ago that it's almost, we can't relate to it. And we have developed an affection for material energy, so much so that we identify very strongly with material energy. And even our own true spiritual nature seems foreign to us. But that's only because we're in what Prabhupada would call a diseased condition, skin disease. So skin disease, sometimes we may have some skin disease like a rash or eczema or psoriasis or something like that. Dermatitis. That's not the type of skin disease he's talking about. He's talking about the disease that we think, we look in the mirror and we see our face, your body, and we think that's me. If we peel the skin off, is it still the same identity? How grotesque would that be? You'd probably throw up at the sight of it if you didn't faint out of pain. Sometimes they had these, back in the medieval times, they had these tortures where they would separate people's skin from them, wouldn't they? Just to see if they were a witch, for example. And finally there was so much pain, they say, yeah, I'm a witch, okay, you win. Yeah, so this is this skin just simply the wrapper, which is containing all the organs and keeping everything together, and everything's just kind of hanging on what Bhagavad refers to as a bag of bones. It's quite a nice description, isn't it? Because sometimes we get caught up in our own body or someone else's body, but we consider actually it's just a bag of bones. Of course, that doesn't mean to say that we look down upon someone. You're just a bag of bones. No, that's not their identity, that's their illusion. They're not a bag of bones, they're a spirit soul. And temporarily we're housed in this amazing machine made of material energy. And we don't even know how this body's working, but we want to deny that there's a creator of it. And we want to accept that we are the creator, or we are the enjoyer. But somehow, by coming into the association of devotees and hearing this enlightening message of Srimad Bhagavatam, we begin to realize actually, I think I'd like to be the supreme enjoyer, and often I think I am, therefore I'm always trying to find some enjoyment in this world. But actually I'm not finding what I'm looking for. It's interesting that people put so much emphasis on material wealth that when someone becomes very wealthy, then somehow or another they become an authority on everything. Just like recently there's some big businessman, right? He became very wealthy, and then they start asking him about God as if, he's got so much money, he must know, if God exists, or if there's aliens on other planets. And how stupid is that? How foolish is that to place your faith in the wrong person? So you see, whatever a great man, actually, anyways, I can't remember exactly how it goes, but basically, that common people follow in the footsteps of a great person. Therefore, you get people like when David Beckham was like the top of the food chain in the football world, and everybody wanted to be like David Beckham. Or if you go back a bit older, everybody was thinking maybe I'll be the next Pele. So you get all the kids running about with Brazil t-shirts on, kicking the ball, trying to be Pele. Or you get someone else idolizes some pop star. You get these bands who do cover versions of the songs, usually terrible cover versions of them. Sometimes even these movie stars that made to look so beautiful. I can't remember which one it was, but some one so-called very beautiful Hollywood star, she's been interviewed, and something the question, something like, so many people trying to look like you. She says, I don't even look like me. Because what happens is you're going to get made up, and all the blemishes and all that there. And then you see them, sometimes you see before and after, when someone gets a makeover, and they can take anybody and make them look much. And so just like we get that in the Srimad Bhagavatam, who was it who performed great austerities with her husband? Was it Dhruti? And then these personalities from the ocean took her, and after all her emaciated, they made her Karmamuni Devahuti, and that's what it was, Devahuti. And she became emaciated by great austerities, but then she was given some treatment beautified again. So, but then even if we have, the most attractive form or the most biggest brain, intelligent brain, and we're like, the new Albert Einstein, or we're able to kick a ball better than anybody else did, how long is this fame, beauty, knowledge, etc. going to last? And generally, of course, Krishna is full of 6 opulences, and one opulence which is often missed by people when they're trying to imitate Krishna by one or more of these opulences, renunciation. They want to be the wealthiest, but they're not renounced from their wealth. Krishna already owns everything, and he's not attached to it. We can't fathom that out. Because he's self-satisfied. And the devotees also, they can have so much or so little, it doesn't matter. Either way, they're going to serve. I remember one time we used to do Sankirtan. I was doing door-to-door in a place called Kincardine, and this old couple gave me this really old-fashioned car coat, which was given to him as a wedding present, which must have been in the 50s, and it was totally out of fashion, you know, like anything, like decades ago, like probably 30 or 40 years ago. It was given as a wedding present, never used it, and they said, "Oh, can you use this? We've got a bit of money," and I thought, let me just try to use it so they can get some benefit. And if I use it while I'm on Sankirtan, they'll get the benefit of keeping Sankirtan devotee and watch Tanya give them some blessing. So I wore it for a couple of years actually, and then once that was over, my brother bought me a nice kind of fashion, not so much fashionable, but it's a very waterproof jacket. And someone on the street criticised me, she said, "Oh, I thought you were supposed to be monks, you know, why are you wearing such a nice jacket?" I said, "Well, you weren't here last year when I was wearing an old tatty car coat, were you?" He says, "We don't mind. You know, we wear this or we wear that. Somebody gives it to me and I want to offend him by saying, no, it's too opulent." So this is false renunciation. We just live in poverty because we don't want to have possessions. The real, for a devotee, we can live simply. For ourselves, we try to live with minimal possessions, etc. But for Krishna, we can accept anything. Someone comes to the temple and says, "We want to give you £1 million." You say, "Sorry, no, we've taken a vow of poverty, we cannot accept." Prabhupada's moved, and you should follow in his footsteps. As if someone gives us £1 million in the morning, we'll have it spent at Krishna's service by the afternoon. Prabhupada said, "My only thought was that I always thought big. I could never think small. And that's to our benefit. If Prabhupada wasn't thinking big, then he maybe never came to the West. He started this worldwide movement." So this devotee, Kirpadaksha, he experienced great ecstasy because he had attained, he'd managed to please the Lord. So pleasing the Lord is something which we attain, we aspire to do eternally. This is our swarup, this is our position, that we are eternal, Jivara Swarupa, we are eternal servants of Krishna. This is our constitutional position. It's not some temporary identity. Even faith, someone may be a Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, atheist, whatever, and they're thinking, "I'm this, I'm that." But actually, the intrinsic Sanatana Dharma, eternal constitutional position of the soul, is Krishnara Nityadas. And Krishnara Tatasta Shakti Veda Veda Prakash. So of the 3 primary Shaktis, we have the Antaranga Shakti, which is internal potency, Krishna's eternal potency, which means Krishna and his various expansions and all the liberated souls, etc., which are not Jiva, such as Srimati Radharani. So, and then we have the Antaranga Shakti, which is the external energy, and there's Tatasa Shakti, which is in between. Although the Tatasa Shakti is conscious, and we are of the same spiritual nature as the external energy is the Bahiranga Shakti. Bahir, as in Bahir, which is more. Hridaya, Lord of Sindhi is in the heart, and Bahir is also external. The Bahiranga Shakti is external potency. Antaranga Shakti is internal potency, just like Antaryami. Interesting word, antar. So the internal potency, we are also part and parcel of the supreme spiritual potency, that we're different in the sense that we're infinitesimal. And we have this freedom of choice where we can be either under the shelter of the divine energy, also known as Paraprakriti, or the Aparaprakriti, the material energy. So this is our extent of our freedom. It was interesting, Mangala and Ananda were saying yesterday that in the material world, we have a very small margin of comfort zone. We're simply always trying to find some kind of comfort zone, and it's a very small margin. It doesn't really take us much to get out of that comfort zone, isn't it? Either something disturbs our mind or our body, or there's some everything seems fine, but the weather's too hot, or the weather's too cold, or there's some mosquitoes in the room, I can't get to sleep, or someone's snoring in the room, or someone's snoring so loudly in the room next to us that it's keeping us awake. I remember when I was branching back to that manor, the Bhakta ashram at that time was above what used to be the kitchen, and there was a couple of rooms there, and there was one devotee who snored so loudly that even in the next room, even if it was in the other room and the door closed, it would wake you up. You were having dreams of motorcycles, and then you realise he was on a Norton 750. Does anybody know what a Norton is? It's an old classic British motorbike. It wasn't so much Norton, it was Snorton. It was actually with devotees, there's so many interesting leelas with devotees sleeping. I remember seeing one devotee snoring, and he woke up to chastise someone who was snoring, who woke him up, and it was himself. Every time I wake up, the snoring stops. Yeah, devotees, even in their sleep, they're funny. Like we were given the example the other day that one devotee, he had 8 alarm clocks, and still didn't get him up. Got everyone else up. So of course, when one achieves something in the material world, you think that's it, the job is done. But that's not the case in the spiritual world. Just like this term nirvana, people think nirvana is the goal, but nirvana is just like when you're in prison. Your main meditation is just getting out of the prison, isn't it? That's nirvana, that's just getting out of the prison. But what you're going to do once you're out, that's devotional service. So this material world is known as Durga Dam. There's various dams. There's Mahesh Dam, the abode of Lord Shiva. There's Hari Dam, the abode of Lord Vishnu. And there's Goloka Dam. And then there's Devi Dam or Durga Dam, which is the abode of Durga. So does anybody know what Durga means?
Yeah, fort. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, fort or prison house. So anyone else get any other meaning?
Something very difficult to overcome, something very huge, something very difficult to overcome.
Yeah. Yeah, like this verse in Bhagavad Gita, Mach Chita Sarva Durgani. All difficult. Sarva means all. Mach Chita Sarva Durgani. Krishna says, if you become Chitta, Mach, become conscious of me, then Mach Chita Sarva Durgani, you cross over all obstacles of conditional life, so obstacles, some difficulties. But sometimes people think, oh, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
it's such a cop-out excuse, you know, for not actually taking the destination as being the objective. This kind of eclectic understanding is full of made-up conclusions. You know, if the journey is so great, then why even bother going on? Why even bother trying to get to the destination? You know, if you're going to some event, say we've got the Rath Yatra on Sunday, and that decides he's just going to start walking in any old direction to get there, and then like 3 years later he's walked around the planet and he gets to Edinburgh, and of course the Rath Yatra, it might just happen to get there, you know, when Rath Yatra's on in 2025. So you can't just decide to any old path will do, isn't it? That's what they say. Any path leads to the same goal. So you can't just walk in any direction and expect to get the same destination. You can't just go to Glasgow Airport and just catch the first plane and it doesn't matter where it's going, I'll just take it because they all go to the same place anyway. If you went to Buchanan Street bus station in Glasgow, to the ticket office and say, where do you want to go? You say, I want to go to Edinburgh for Rath Yatra. So you go, okay, you get a bus ticket for Edinburgh. You wouldn't just go to say, they say, where do you want to go to? Anywhere, it doesn't matter. They all go to the same place, doesn't it? We just say, somebody called the health authorities, this person needs a bit of care and attention. So this kind of philosophy, why do we apply it in spiritual life, that all paths lead to the same goal? They don't all lead to the same goal. Going upstairs and going downstairs is not going in the same direction. You know, if you're in a shopping mall and you're at the top of the escalators, one's coming up, one's going down, and you'll just think, oh, I want to go down, but let me get on, it doesn't matter. You want the one which is coming up, you just be walking there forevermore. So then the amazing thing about Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita is that Krishna and Krishna's devotees are telling us what is the goal. And they're not just telling us, it's not just like they're saying something, this is where to go, they're actually showing us by showing how where we are is not the place to be. They're reminding us that we are actually eternal spirit soul full of bliss and knowledge, and we're trying to experience that in an interior world which won't allow it. It's just not suitable for that. We're exactly like a fish out of water here. We're trying to enjoy. We want to live forever, and we don't want to be in ignorance, but this material world doesn't allow us to be any of these things. Instead of Satchidananda, we're asat. When we relate to the material body, then we're asat. We're not eternal. We're achit, full of knowledge, and nirananda, which is not close to ananda, it means not ananda. Nirananda. So here we're seeing that Daksha got the mercy of the Lord. The Lord showed his pleasure by appearing in a particular forms. Anyone remember how many arms the Lord had when he appeared with his son?
Which one?
Lord Vishnu just appeared to Daksha in previous verses, and he appeared in a particular form. Eight arms. Normally Lord Vishnu appears with 4 arms, isn't it? But the Lord can appear in any form he wants. It's not that he appears with 8 arms and that just says, you can't be Vishnu, he's only got 4 arms. He can do it with legs. He can appear with 1 million arms if he likes. I remember I stayed with this amazing Prabhupada disciple, Sadhaputta, and he was one of the leading devotees of the Bhakta Institute. And he usually he said he felt sorry for the ISKCON artists who had to paint Lord Brahma with the multiple heads. Because how can you conceive, you know that pastime where Brahma goes to see Lord Krishna, and Krishna says to check his pride, and he sends a message back to the doorman. Which Brahman is it? And so then finally comes in, four-headed Brahman, Chaturmukhi, four-headed Brahma, and Krishna's arranged it. All the other Brahmas had arrived, with 100 head, 1,000 head, 1,000,000 heads, depending on the size of the universes. And Sadhguru commented that that's when artists had to paint was like heads, like a Christmas tree on top of their shoulders. How else can you do it? Like sometimes they show Raven, right, and get like 10 heads along with that. It doesn't seem to be physically possible. But it's probably because it's in like another dimensional thing, and obviously being three-dimensional consciousness, we can't quite conceive of other dimensions unless you're in it. So it's a little side thing, but one interesting point made here is austerities combined with devotion. So if we just do austerities on our own, without devotion, then we become hard-hearted. How do we become hard-hearted? Prabhupada used to say that too much austerity makes you hard-hearted. You think, well, how can that be? I'm doing it to please the Lord. But if we are, then that's a different matter. Sometimes we're forming austerities out of another motivation. Anyone like to see how they think austerities makes one hard-hearted? How? Yeah. Is that
I think I can say this. So it can make us proud. Like if we perform in austerities and we're able to, for example, chant japa before Mangarati, and we're the only one who can do that, for example, let's say. And then we might feel proud, like, oh, the others are sleeping, they're in the mode of ignorance, I'm in the mode of goodness, that kind of thing. And then our heart, so then we're gonna look at others like inferior to us, and then we can't like be kind to them or like even learn from them. So we become close.
We start to think we're better than others and others are less than us. So immediately we start committing the first offence against the holy name, isn't it? Blaspheming the devotees who have dedicated their lives to propagation of the Lord's holy name. And it astounds me that some people are so foolish that they tend to do this. You take great devotees like spiritual masters who are doing so much amazing service, and then this criticise for some tiny little thing. And become proud. So there's something to watch out for, because something which Krishna doesn't like to see in his devotees is pride, and he'll protect them from that. Even you see the example in the Rasa dance, topmost devotees, as soon as the devotee, one of the gopis thinks, Krishna's only dancing with me, because they all think like that. When Krishna see here, but Krishna's dancing with each and every gopi. And even if he expands to 30 billion, if there's 30 billion gopis, he'll expand himself, and they may think that he's only dancing with them. And then Krishna leaves the rasa dance, and then they feel, oh, what I'll say, what I thought. Whereas Krishna, so Krishna will protect even the topmost devotees. He's shown that example. That pride is such an enemy of the devotees. So that doesn't mean to say, of course, that if we're getting up before Mangalarti to chant all around so we can chant extra or chant more because we want to get more devotees, it doesn't mean to say that we should stop doing that. If we're feeling that we're becoming proud or we're thinking less of somebody, then we should stop thinking less of them. Don't stop the devotional activity. Stop the incorrect mentality. And there was examples of that. Sometimes austerity is performed just out of pride. It may even have started off in the beginning. When other people would say that austerity is there, they burn the weeds to ashes. see more clearly. Devotional service uproots. So if we just burn them, they can grow back up again, isn't it? You have to uproot them. So the services are there just so that our mind becomes clear and we can see what the destination we're supposed to be going in. We can disassociate from the things which are detrimental to our advancement in devotional service. In the Abhilasya, Krishna, Srila Bhakta. So pure devotional service is performed favourably without any desire for recognition, any desire for fruit of gain, mental speculation, etc. So, and it's done favourably, which means that we become favourable to Krishna, favourable to the devotees, and the devotees are also, and Krishna is also favourable to us. So, I'll give one example, which I've given many times, but still comes here, is that it's still relevant. When Prabhupada's disciple decided he wanted to chant extra rounds, and he decided, of course. Prabhupada did say you can chant 16 on the beads and unlimited off the beads, so it's not that once you chant 16, then you're forbidden to chant again until the next chapter period. You should always be chanting. But what happened was this devotee had decided he was going to chant 32 rounds a day. So Prabhupada's servant told him, well, Prabhupada, such and such das is now chanting 32 rounds a day. And Prabhupada says, And then a few days later, now he wants to chant 64 rounds a day. So Prabhupada still didn't make much of a comment on it. And then he says, now he wants to live under a tree and chant 64 rounds a day. Prabhupada says, I want. This is sense gratification. So he wanted to live under a tree, he wanted to chant 64, he wanted to do this. But what did the spiritual master want? So this is the key thing. If the spiritual master says chant 16 rounds a day and do devotional service throughout the day, that's what we do. We don't say, well, maybe I should chant 64 rounds a day, that's better. And I do 5 minutes service. By the time I chant 64 rounds, I'll be so fired up I can do a full 5 minutes service all day. With full enthusiasm. And then there's this other philosophy going about that devotional service is spontaneous, so if it's a willing process, so if you don't feel like it and you're not willing, then it's not devotional service. And that's another bogus, because devotional service is pure form, is spontaneous, and it's performed willingly. That is devotional service. But to get to that, we have to perform sadhana. We have to perform regular devotional service. So have to is the word, because we're not yet willing. And that is, if we're not willing, then okay, we have to keep on doing it until we are willing. And then no longer do we have to do it, we want to do it. It's just like sometimes, as a child, we may have to do certain things until we actually grow up a bit and realise that these are necessary things that are being taught. Parents are teaching you, how to wash the dishes, how to clean the floor, how to do your homework. And you have to do all these things. You don't want to, but later on you realise, I need to do these things. And then I want to do these things because it's getting me to where I want to go. So this is, sadhana means the means by which we attain something. So our destination is prema pumarta, prime benediction for love for humanity is love of God. Develop that. And then once we develop that, then we don't think, okay, I've made it. In Nectar Devotion, Prabhupada says that the material world is never safe, even for a devotee. The only time we know we're safe is we're back in the spiritual world and the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So we never think, okay, I've done 50 years chanting 16 rounds a day, times 356 days a year, that's X amount of holy names I've chanted. Surely I must be able to put my feet up now. There's also occasions where people have chanted 64 rounds a day, lived at Radha-kun for decades and decades, and then they fall victim to Maya. So we can't think at any time in this material world that we're safe from that because we're in Maya's domain. Just like if you go to some really rough neighbourhood, you don't feel safe to get out of that neighbourhood and you're in another place. So we're in Maya's neighbourhood, it's pretty rough. And in a corner return, there may be some dangerous situation. There's danger at every step. So in this way, the devotee is always vigilant not to fall into Maya. And if we do fall into Maya, then just fall back into Krishna again. We just take shelter in the holy name, take shelter in association with devotees, prasad. Even if all else fails, at least you can take prasad. Which reminds me, it's time for prasad. Okay, anyone got any questions or comments on this?
Could you repeat analogy about mention one analogy about the weeds and how, you know, if you perform just austerities, then that's like a fire, but then the weed might grow again. And so what is this, you know, the fact that you uproot the weeds? What was this? I didn't catch it.
Yeah, so austerities are considered, so you have the Bhakta beach, you see the keeper of devotion, and we're watering that. And austerities that's considered to be like burning weeds down, so it's giving the devotional keeper the chance to grow, but still the weeds will grow back again. So ultimately we have to uproot them. Burning them down just helps us to see more clearly. So austerities, a certain amount of austerity is necessary. But the austerities that Prabhupada recommended is, he said, preaching. Preaching is our austerity. So sometimes when we're preaching, there's no austerity. Except sometimes we go to Om Sri Om and we're chanting, dancing, and feasting. It's like, well, this doesn't seem very austere. But other times, your mind might be not want to go there. It's like, no, you have to come. You know, you got to be part of the team for preaching here. Or sometimes we have to do something else for preaching. We may have to put ourselves in a position where it's not a comfortable situation. Like we're going out in Sanktan and it's pouring with rain all day long, there's no shelter on the street, and our mind's giving us trouble, people being rude. So, but it's preaching. But other days you're going out there and it's great, and everyone's friendly, and your bag's emptying out with books and filling with Lakshmi. And you go back and everyone's saying Jai. Everybody's great and everything's nectar. When shortly before Prabhupada passed away, no, not that example, different example. And Prabhupada was a little ill, and there was one program that had been arranged. It's in Hari Sari's book, Transcendental Diary. And he wanted to go to the program, and Hari Sari Prabhu was saying, "No, Prabhupada, you should just stay back and rest." Prabhupada says, "No, I want to go to the program." But Hari Sari was out of love, he was trying to get his spiritual master just to stay back and rest, etc. And he said, "But Prabhupada, you know, some other devotee can do the program, don't worry." He says, "No, I want to do it." "Oh, Prabhupada, you know, please just stay back and rest." He says, "It's too austere for you, Prabhupada." He says, "Preaching means austerity." So sometimes when we're preaching, we experience austerity, and sometimes we're preaching, we don't. But we're not going out of our way to look for austerity. One devotee was making some unnecessary austerities. Prabhupada said, "Why don't you put glass in your shoe if you want austerity?" He said, "We're not interested in austerities." So the austerities which come about of their own accord in due course of our doing a devotion service, we accept that. That's a labour of love. Like someone asks you to go and cook a feast, you go in and think, there's only cabbage, tomato, potato, semolina and sugar. How are we going to cook a feast with that? So you've got to try to, it might be a bit austere for the cook to try to do something to please the devotees, but if their intention is to please the devotees, they make something, whatever comes out, it will be pleasing to the devotees. Or sometimes you're asked to cook a feast and you go in and there's just so much opulence in the kitchen. You think, wow, great, should be able to make a nice feast for the devotees with this. So whatever austerities we undergo in the service of Guru and Krishna, That's the austerities that we undertake. And we don't necessarily have to make unnecessary austerities. It's okay. Alright, it's going to go with the key. Key. Interaction of Bhagavatam key.
It's based on Bhakta Prabhu ki.
Lord Bhakta key.